What it means to be a basketball superstar is being redefined by Caitlin Clark. She was able to surpass herself once more following an incredible season that had already left fans and observers in amazement. She's breaking records this time, unlike any other athlete in recent memory. The twist is that she hasn't even taken the court yet. Rather, she's winning some of the biggest honors in sports, such as Female Athlete of the Year from APE, Business Athlete of the Year from SBJ, and Athlete of the Year from Time. These honors are not limited to basketball. They are given to athletes from various walks of life, regardless of league or sport. Give it some time to sink in. In addition to being a fantastic basketball player, Caitlin Clark is the WNBA spokesperson, the league's biggest star and its face. The fact that some people continue to doubt her marketability and worth is almost mind blowing. In actuality, no one has ever attracted as many fans to WNBA games as Clark. People want to see her because she is a marketable athlete with charisma, star power, and a winning mindset. However, not everyone is happy about her success, particularly Angel Reese, whose responses to Clark's accomplishments have generated debate. Reese rejects Clark's recognition outright, not merely because she disagrees with it. This has sparked a lot of discussion on the true nature of this situation. Is Reese jealous of Clark's achievements? Is there a competitive element involved? Or is there a more intimate factor at work? The entire basketball community has taken notice of the friction between these two players. But one issue keeps coming up. Why does Reese appear so shaken by Clark's indisputable success? It hasn't been easy for Clark to become famous. She has endured hardships, disappointments, and the demands of being the focus of attention, yet her fortitude is unparalleled. And in spite of all the criticism, she has continuously performed well, establishing herself as the most powerful player on the court. With accolades that speak for themselves, Clark's extraordinary talent has truly elevated her to a new level. She established an incredible 62 records in her inaugural season, which no other player in WNBA history has even approached. She took the record book and completely rewrote it, destroying records rather than merely breaking them. Even more astounding is the fact that Clark's achievements go much beyond her personal stats. Clark has had a profoundly transforming effect on her team's trajectory as the catalyst for the Indiana Fever's first postseason berth in almost 10 years. She is a game changer in addition to being an exceptional player, and Clark is making waves off the court as well. Her impact off the court is equally revolutionary. During her inaugural season, WNBA clothing sales increased by an incredible 500%. That's a six-fold increase, solely due to her growing popularity. By making the WNBA a must-watch sport and drawing in a whole new generation of fans, she did more than just sell jerseys. As the league reaches audiences it has never previously reached, game attendance has shattered records and viewership is still rising. Sports economists are taking notice of Clark's influence since it is so strong. The WNBA is experiencing the Caitlin Clark effect, as analysts project that she will be responsible for an incredible $1.6 billion increase in women's professional basketball over the next 3 years. The sport has been rejuvenated and elevated to previously unheard of heights thanks to Clark's involvement in the league. She has turned into a lightning rod for women's basketball, and Michael Jordan analogies are growing increasingly common. Clark is transforming women's basketball on a scale no one could have predicted, just way Jordan transformed the NBA in the 1980s. Her first season is a goldmine, not simply a show. It is believed that Clark's presence in Indianapolis alone contributed an astounding $36 million to the local economy. This is the kind of knock-on impact that brings joy to local authorities and club owners. And this is only the start. Clark's importance to the sport is becoming increasingly apparent as she breaks records and establishes new benchmarks for achievement. Although the league has other gifted players, none have had as much of an immediate influence on the sport or the WNBA's financial expansion as Clark. Her worth goes beyond personal statistics. She is completely changing the professional basketball scene for women. Clark isn't pursuing competitors in spite of all the praise she has received. She is striving for excellence. Her success, in contrast to some of her peers, comes from pushing oneself to new limits and redefining what is possible in the sport, rather than competing with others. She is more interested in raising the bar for herself and the sport as a whole than she is in stirring up controversy or rivalries. Players like Angel Reese might try to criticize Clark's success or start media driven feuds, but Clark is still committed to her art. However, the hubbub around their alleged rivalry cannot be ignored. According to the media, Clark and Reese are engaged in a titanic struggle for dominance. Their feud dominates headlines, and discussions about it are raging on social media. But do the two actually have a rivalry? There is a player who is breaking records and attaining unheard of levels of success on one side, and another whose attention appears to be more focused on social media trends than on her own performance on the court. Caitlin Clark's focus is unwavering despite Angel Reese's constant stirring of controversy with her comments and social media posts. It's hard to overlook the extent of her accomplishment, and she has let her game speak for itself. Her unquestionable domination on the court and her capacity to enthrall spectators and create global excitement have made her a cultural phenomenon. This is revolution in motion, not simply star power. Clark's accomplishments go well beyond personal honors. She is converting casual viewers into ardent supporters and attracting new fans to the sport. Because of her impact, the WNBA is going through a cultural transformation and is seeing an unprecedented increase in popularity. People are referring to Clark as a transformative force rather than merely a star. Her influence is being felt throughout the sports world, and she is the epitome of what is achievable in women's basketball. Even if Clark's success keeps growing, it's critical to recognize the wider ramifications of her accomplishments. She has demonstrated that women's basketball can be just as thrilling, passionate, and captivating as men's basketball. By doing this, she has elevated the league as a whole and encouraged a new generation of athletes and spectators to take up the sport. Caitlin Clark is a movement rather than merely a player. Critics will inevitably arise, though, because excellence brings attention. The strong focus on one player has drawn criticism from some, who say that it could obscure other worthy sportsmen and jeopardize the game's collaborative spirit. However, the truth is that the WNBA has never received more attention than it does now, thanks to Caitlin Clark's ascent. There is cause for celebration because the league is now visible in a way that it wasn't previously. Critics claim that concentrating too much on one player could hurt the league, but let's face it, Clark's success is only contributing to the growth of the sport. It is evidence of Clark's transformational influence that the WNBA is experiencing record breaking attendance and viewership, that new fans are turning in to watch, and that so many people are talking about it. Unquestionably, Caitlin Clark has given women's basketball a level of excitement and intensity that was before unthinkable, despite any complaints about fairness or the league's player promotion. Caitlin Clark, who is only 22 years old, is already altering the rules. She is not your typical athlete, as seen by her achievements on the court, her influence off the court, and the financial impact she has had on the league. She is a once in a generation talent with limitless potential. Her future in the WNBA makes it quite evident that the league is about to experience something genuinely remarkable. This is about more than simply Caitlin Clark's accomplishments. It's about what her success means for women's basketball in general. Her quick ascent has spurred crucial discussions about the league's player marketing and brand development strategies. One thing is evident, though, despite all the arguments and discussions. Caitlin Clark is revolutionary. Her ascent is a victory for women's basketball, and as a result, the sport has a more promising future than before. The whole basketball world is watching as Caitlin Clark keeps setting new marks and redefining what it means to be a superstar. What will happen to her next? The possibilities are endless, especially if her first season is any guide. She's already altered the game in ways that nobody could have predicted, and if she keeps going in this direction, who knows how far she can go? There is no denying that Caitlin Clark is a formidable force, and she is just beginning her career. Caitlin Clark is the new face of the WNBA. She has the power to influence the direction of women's basketball. So let's honor her greatness.